Hello, parents of grade 12. It was standard 10 to us, so I will find myself sometimes saying grade 10, also not 10 in between, but grade 12. Congratulations to the parents and the kids of grade 12. It must be exciting, also at the same time a bit of an anxiety, because there's a lot of decisions to make. There's even a metric farewell in between and all that. So I'm just wanted to share based on I used to receive kids from grade 12 at the university at UWC. I was on a program called ALC. It used to assist to receive kids who are coming from different backgrounds, especially those who are not more having information about the tertiary. So that was a program that was initiated when I was still there on the leadership. So with that information and an experience, it made me to realize that we need to have interlink programs that are preparing grade 12 for either a tertiary or after grade 12 activities, studies or working or whatever that needs to happen. But the kids and the parents, they need more support system and sometimes knowledge. We are working in different environments. We have others have information, others they don't have information. So if you happen to have an information that can be of useful for a grade 12 parent, it's always magical. I wish I would have someone like that when my child is doing grade 12. So I normally believe that a child is raised by a village, or it takes a village to raise a child. So these are the initiatives that we as a school and the parents on my position as on an SGB, and I'm not just doing it for my school, I'm doing it for parents that want to do something or to add on whatever that they are having. So I'm going to share the things that maybe the parents of grade 12 can look out. You can try to download this video or you can watch it with your child. It's going to be beneficial for both of you as a parent, because most of the time the schools have all the programs in place to support the grade 12s. They plan ahead. They are so used to it. They are teachers. But I'm starting to want to create a platform for parents to prepare their kids for whatever grade for that matter, but for grade 12 as well, so that we can be able to work together with the school, the teachers, and the parents for this child who's our center, because the main person here is our child. So now the school does have the program, but are we having the programs for the parents, which is who makes those programs is the parents, not the school, so that we can be able to balance for our child to actually pass, So I made a collections. I've got some friends that are working in the universities. I've got relationships based on my work that I was doing at universities. I've got a vast of friendships that even on my Facebook that we discuss such things. And I also read the current news. I am seeing the changes even on the academic world, on education. I'm looking at the fact that there's a pass rate of 30% that disadvantages the kids that we have assumed that they passed. Now they are unable to enter the university. So the parents, this is the platform where we should actually start discussing things like that, so that even the parents who don't understand the pass rate of 30%, 40%, 60%, they are able to ask those questions comfortable on a parental language. And I must say there's a parent language and there's a school language. So we need to be in a position where we are having both languages, but combined to make sure this grade 12 of ours is passing. So firstly, the practical things that we need to have is make your child an ID copy, please, parents. It's needed for the exams to write. We don't need the ID number, we need the actual copy of your ID. So your children need to go to Home Affairs. I think now they even do them online, and the bank. Google it and find out which branches in the banks that are doing the IDs. But your child needs to start having an ID if they don't have it from last year. Like my son is going to be doing his ID this year. He's turning 17. So I already told him that, listen, after your birthday, I want you to give me a date so I can take you to Home Affairs. I just want him to have that experience physically. Sometimes, Bailey, can you please go and knock outside? So, IPOP is very important. I'm waiting for this to finish. Okay, I'm back. I was just trying to calm Bailey down. And then another thing that we need to look at is the career choices. I'm hoping by this time most of the grade 12 kids have done some bit of shadowing. But I did spoke to different grade 12s from different schools, and I found that they still don't know what is job shadowing. Like, they never went to the careers that they're aspiring to be. I made an example on the grade 12 parental meeting that we had at our school, that we have all these resources in our community. Like, we go to the doctors on every second day. Actually, there is always a booking in the doctor's home, Lantoka, in our local area. And then we have kids that want to be doctors. So speak to the doctor even if you're going for consultation. That's how I spoke to the neurologist. My son wants to be a neurologist, so I spoke to my neurologist because I'm seeing a neurologist. For me, I was like, can my son come and be shadowed by you so that you can show him what is the all neurology about while he's practically watching you, making appointments and all those kind of stuff. That is basically job shadowing, and it can make him to make a decision as well easier in terms of, but do I really want to do this now when he's seeing it in action? Like, I also spoke to one of my GPs, and I said, can you please recommend, or can my son in fact come and see the GP side of things? Because sometimes we push our kids to go and do these specialist careers, all to find that that's not what they want. Maybe they just want to be a GP. So those are the people that are around us: dentists, gynecologists, landscapers. So those are the things that we can start communicating to these local areas, in like places in Alandoka, businesses in our area. If they can be able to take 2 kids per term to go and be shadowed and see exactly what they want to do, if they really want to do. Another benefit about that I learned from my neurologist said that, you know what, Mrs. Machisa, your child won't just be shadowed. He will create relationships with other doctors, because I won't just keep him for neurology. I will speak to my colleague on the oncology. I was going to speak to my colleague on the cardiologist, you see. So he's not just being exposed to different fields of medicine. He's also creating relationships with these doctors that when he's actually practicing, they can be able to refer him. They can be able to reference for him. He will be always like 5 steps ahead, maybe with other kids who just passed medicine without creating those relationships. If he's struggling on the medicine world, he's already have a bunch of doctors that he has once worked with when he was job shadowing and created relationships. So we need to not look on the fact that he's being shadowed there so that he can see what the career is all about. He's also creating relationship. He's also learning the work ethics than the school ethics. And then that can make, I don't think I really can cope on this. If this is a lot of admin that is being done, this is ABCD, those are the things that can also push your child, the third point, to say, I need to pass this. I'm seeing myself in this office. I once took my son in a neurology center in Constantiaberg, and he was so amazed. The office of that office, was beautiful, guys. But anyway, that was not the point. I like the way that he saw how organized it was. So it's a bit of Osinyana, but I like the way that it was like so organized, and with everything, the files, it blew my son away. And for me, that is what the spaces we should expose our kids to. And in like not formal, but things like that. You just like take him to the hospital. You want to be a lawyer, find the law firms. There's a lot of law firms here that we are their customers, so we can be able to negotiate that our kids are upcoming. Can we come and see what they come and see what they are doing? So do that for your child, even if the school is not organizing it. But please do that. But I'm busy trying to find out if we can have that kind of a program where we are actually outsourcing and assisting the parents, especially those who are unable to do such things. And then have a discussion. Are you guys going to have a res, staying in a res when you pass? These discussions again happen when the applications are starting. You should be already have that kind of a discussion from grade 11. But again, as I'm saying, that there is nothing late if they're still present. Find out, does the child wants to go to a res, or you want her to go to, or him to go to the res? Things like that, they matter in terms of their studying and performance. And then weekly planner. Again, I'm bringing this weekly planner. It's going to help them to study, prepare for the exams, to be disciplined. The grade 12 weekly planner should be different. I'm still going to ask the school to show me how they're doing. It's going to involve the studying, what time are they leaving, and all that. So I would advise that you check your weekly planner as well. Thank you. Now we need to discuss something. I know it might be sensitive, but it's something that we need to discuss and prepare ourselves. Everybody wants their child to pass. That is a fact. We wouldn't take our kids to school to fail. However, we as the parents of grade 12, we need to start having the both worlds preparations. You prepare your child when they pass. Let's start with the pass. That means if the child passes, what do you prepare? The percentage that it passed based on the academics. The previous videos I even showed the target markets of the child that needs to have and all those kind of stuff. When you are visiting the institutions, that's what you should be doing, check their websites as well. They've got criteria of acceptance. You can pass your matric, but you find that you are not going to be qualifying to enter that institution, particular institution. Then there's also a faculty criteria. That means now, let's say your child says you wanted to do medicine and has passed with a bachelor's pass, but the bachelor's pass is not good enough to enroll medicine. They can say, we can take you for a plain BSc, or something. I don't know how it works on the qualification for medicines. You need to know this as a parent upfront before even the exams are written, so that you know that is also a motivator for your child to pass, because you're going to tell him, listen, the course that you want at this university, you need to have 23 points, which translates you need to have 60% pass or 70% pass. So just because you have passed the matric, it doesn't mean that you are qualifying to do the course that you're doing if you don't get this mark. This is what most of the parents, they get frustrated when the kids have passed, and they're excited, everything, all good. But now the reality comes in when you have to register to that institution. They say, no, ma'am, sorry, you are not qualifying for this course. Your child, as much as that has passed, is not qualifying to enter our institution. Now you find the parent is on a panic. Now he needs to search which other institution, and all the whole shock as well in between that. But if you prepare yourself, let's say the child you already know, okay, at UCT, this is the qualifications or the requirements. And let me put in that the requirements to enter. The second one needs to be in a position, but if he doesn't reach this 60%, for example, or this whatever percent, what is the next percentage for what course and what subject and which institution? So I have about 3 options of pass. That means it's going to go to a Cape College or Technikon, is going to go to FETs. So those are the things that you need to know. What is FETs? What are the requirements? Have that before everything, and you discuss with your child. So the child knows that even if I fail or I do this, you can pass my paper. Or you do. So these are the things that they can be in place. So prepare for that. You don't just prepare for pass. What kind of a pass is that? Where does this pass gonna take my child? Where is that institution? Is it gonna offer what is looking, or do we need to have alternative of careers if it doesn't reach this one? So that is very important as well. Then we will discuss the failure. Hi parents, I'm sure you can pick up on the videos that they keep on being cut and all that. This happens when you're running a family, someone else runs the supper and all that. I've been doing the video in between my stuff, so if you see a lot of differences on the video, it's really differences in the video. Okay, we spoke about the passes and the different type of passes, because there's different passes on a matric that qualifies you for different levels of higher institution. Now we're going to talk about the failing of the actual grade 12, what needs to happen. Again, as a parent, you need to prepare yourself up front so that you can be able to, yes, you'll be shocked or disappointed, but your disappointment won't be going like, what am I gonna do? Oh my gosh, because you have put both actions in place or preparations in place. So that means that if you happen to fail, your child happened to fail the matric, what you need to do, you need to check in terms of like, if my child failed, was it because on subjects, where do we improve, or where do we repeat a grade 12? Or firstly, the conversation maybe that you need to have with your child. If you happen to fail, which is, I'm really hoping my child that it doesn't go that way, but we need to look on all the angles. It prepares them as well. It also gives them the comfort that my mother or my father or my parents are not going to be going crazy on me for not doing well on the matric. That means, yes, they will be disappointed, but they will still assist me. That can cut a lot of frustrations and kids wanting to commit suicides and all those kind of, because they are seeing that there was a discussion at home about this, and there was an opening that should this happen, and there will be options, there will be solutions that can be able to help me to improve. The child then won't be in a distress, like what I've seen in so many cases where kids, they're in a distress, they think that that's the end of the world for them. So have a conversation. If you happen not to do well at school, like you failed the actual matric, it doesn't mean that you're a failure in life. You just failed the subjects. What you need to do, what would you want to repeat the matric? Ask the question to the actual matriculant. And if she says yes, you guys need to research which schools for example, in the Western Cape or wherever the province you are, does the repeating of a grade 12. Does your school allow the child to repeat a grade 12? If not, what are the other options? Ask the schools, ask the administrators, ask the Department of Education, so that you can be aware on time. And then from there, you call those institutions and confirm that what are your requirements, what are your expectations if a child fails the matric and all those kind of stuff, and whatever. Do you offer these subjects? Then another area is that you let's say the child actually, the example that I've made of a maths and the physics, where the child didn't do very well on both of them, you need to find out, do you want to change the subjects, and is it doable? Like right now, I'm busy trying to get a research on different higher institutions. I even send messages from my friends who are working in those institutions to find out if can a child come and change the subjects that she was doing on grade 12. Now is no longer wanting to do them, but wants to change the subject and repeat a grade 12. So you need to be able to do those things. You cannot find them you cannot get the proper answers in a moment of distress. And now you are under pressure because the schools in higher institutions are opening. Everybody, the ball is growing, is moving. That's the thing. The ball is moving, so there is no room for what am I going to do and all that. Is January. And unfortunately, the results now these years are coming in a bit late. For us, it used to come in December. So right now, you know everything in January, and while the high institutions are opening, and there's a lot. So prepare your child this year, a year of the matric. Then let's say the child is not going to be able to improve, or is not going to be able to, what is the next option? Then it goes back to that conversation that I had, where I went to go and ask at UCT, well, what do you do? I like the lady that advised me. They said to me, take your niece to an institution that is gonna enhance his passion. Your nephew, sorry. My nephew wanted to cook. He loves cooking and all that, and I'm like, somebody was like, what do you mean cooking? Hey, you need to go to a tertiary institution. And then I remember I went to different cooking culinary schools, and then we eventually went to international hotel school. And I like the presentation that was done there, and it's linked to the higher education department, and you get when you're passing a certain level there, even if you're on grade 11 for that matter, you are able to be taken in as a proper student, and then you will do your first part that will qualify you for a matric. Then from there you are able to further your studies for a higher institution, higher education institution that is linked to the higher education of the Department of Education. So that means your child is going to prosper, is going to be able to actually look at the other options. There are a lot of areas like welding, plumbing, the areas that you never thought of. So my nephew was very good on doing things in hand. Yes, it will involve a theory, but it's something that he likes, and he's going to be doing it in between theory and practical, and while qualifying. And within a year, he was already a step ahead, even to the kids who started a year before on the institution. So those are the things that we need to start opening our minds as parents, that there are options out there. It's just that we always put our mind that high school, university, or technicon, nothing else. There are areas of expertise that your child actually can be able to. The IT, the IS, they don't have to be to do them at a university. Yes, if there's an opportunity to go for it, but let's start opening our eyes. I remember there's a friend of mine. She decided to go into psychology, and I think I forgot that this psychological institution is also it's also part of South African regulated institutions, and she's doing a third year. So those things are very, very, very important that we look at, and we start opening rooms for our kids to do maybe what they like more than what we like. So that's what I really wanted to share in terms of the matrix, preparing themselves or not, with a pass or not. And then there are key parents who would say that I'm not happy with my results for my kids. I want an appeal or a remarking. Find that information now before the results come out, so that you can have all the options, all the answers. There shouldn't be a panic when the results come, because you're already having answers. You're already prepared. You are able to have everything. Honestly, for me, the best thing is the kids to pass, but they need to pass right, because there is a pass, but what type of a pass? Then again, there is a fail. What type of a fail in terms of subjects? I'll always repeat that you didn't fail in life, you just failed the subject, the matric, and it's fixable. You are able to move on with your life. So all the best, the parents of grade 12, all the best, the grade 12, and I'm looking forward to wish my grade 12s at school and have a talk to prepare them as well for exams and the university. So but it all comes to preparation and planning. If we want our kids to thrive and to learn a skill from us as parents, is to teach them to be prepared. There is nothing beats administration. Trust me, once you put your administration in place and tick all the boxes and put them there, so when the results are coming, when the exams are coming, you have a plan. You have an options. You have asked questions, so you will be able to have answers when those questions come. And your child actually senses your anxiety and your panic. So if you are having answers and everything, you will have less chances of having anxiety. So with that said, I just want to say again, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope this will be helpful to you and your child, and all the best. Thank you very much. Abantwana bethu, we are the village, and they are our kids, and it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you.